Hi everyone, welcome to Lichess Liga 3A. I'm here with the Gormalizer, Grandmaster Danny Gormally, and he was just actually telling me how he was about to tell me how Zoe's doing in the Europeans.
Well, she started off really well, Natasha, but unfortunately, so she drew with a GM, which is an amazing.
I saw she drew the GM, fantastic in round one, yeah.
That's right. It was a guy called A Stella from Italy, Andrea Stella. So I was thinking, she played A Stella, and to celebrate by drawing with A Stella, you could have A Stella.
Drink a Stella, yeah.
But unfortunately, she then played another GM and from Azerbaijan, 2590. She then played, I think, Taran from Ireland, who's a very strong player.
Oh, I know Taran, yeah. That's Taran, the brother of Trisha.
That's right. And I lost to him in the Florentiel with White. So he's obviously a very talented player.
Yeah.
And she did lose that game. But today she had a great chance, unfortunately. Yesterday and today, she got great positions out of the opening, but it's not finished off the middle game. When I'm looking at her games, what I think is missing is that ability to make slight improvement moves. It's almost like the general positional play is lacking. You know, to get to higher levels, she's got to have that all-round ability to play good positional moves on a regular basis. And I think she's lacking in that ability. So until she improves that,
she'll develop it. She'll develop it over time with more experience.
She's already 22, 23. It's going to be, you don't improve that much once you get older, you know. I mean, I might sound negative, but I think
depends how much you work on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I do think it's much easier to improve when you're younger. You know?
No, I do agree. Yeah,
I think all the data would suggest as much.
Yes. All right. I'm going to just see who we have in the team tonight. So we have right, VKT Chess. We have Knight of Spring. We have Wilsonia, Ocelot, and English Chess. It's 3+0 tonight, so one of the faster time controls we have in this.
Good bit of guillotine, you know. I got really annoyed yesterday because I was playing in the Simon Williams tournament, the G Chess.
I know you were, because I forgot, because I knew you're what's the thing, Caribou or something?
Caribou, yeah.
I was, and I forgot who that was, and we were trying to work it out, and then Ocelot told us on the stream.
Oh, you were actually doing commentary on it, were you?
Yeah. I did some commentary from 7 o'clock with Matthew.
I didn't start off very well, and I found the whole berserking very difficult.
Yeah.
You know, and it annoyed me when I lost a game where I berserked and I lost rating points. I thought, I'm not doing that. I don't care that much about winning the tournament.
Yeah.
I just want to, you know, I think so. Yeah, once the tournament finished, so I refused really to berserk after that. Once the tournament finished, because I would firstly recommend that people don't berserk actually. But once the tournament finished, I basically went on tilt and I started chasing. I played for like another 3 hours after that.
Yeah, okay.
Got to about 27.70, which I was quite happy with on the rating, but yeah, disappointing. And also Simon won the tournament, which made it even worse. I hate it when my friends do well.
It was Simon, and then was it like there was someone like Poker Player or something?
I don't know actually. I didn't really know the guy who finished second was. There was also Big Al was up there.
So, Big Al.
He's generally a dangerous. He's always been for a long time. He's been a dangerous blitz player.
Yeah.
But, this is our guy's VTK chess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm starting to see the names now.
You know everybody now. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you know the names, but you don't yet know everyone's weaknesses.
Well, there's too many to mention, I think. So here, knight 5, bishop takes f. Yeah, bishop d3. Now you go bishop b6 is the main line, I think. Bishop b7 is slightly inferior move, but it might be okay. Maybe rook c8. Yeah, it's quite hard to go wrong in a Grunfeld because the plan is very, very obvious. Just like here, maybe a6, b5, maybe even b5 here. But b5 you can go rook takes c8, and if bishop takes c8, there's So maybe b5, but now d5 looks better for white. Also, bishop h6 is okay. I probably would have gone d5 though. Take and then maybe tuck the king away, king h1. Or king f1 is possible.
Looks like this b5 knight a5 has been quite successful.
Yeah, but I don't think you should have been. I think you should have gone d5.
Yeah.
Instead of bishop h6. But now, yeah, you got play with knight c4 coming. So it's actually a little bit tricky for white. Maybe knight c4, you just take and go queen c3. So king f2 is a really classy move, actually. Yeah, take and then queen c3, just controlling everything.
D5 is... So now you could swap queens if you wanted.
If you trade, you're a lot worse in the ending. That pawn on c4 is weak. So you might go for like queen c7.
Yeah, trying to push this c pawn, I suppose.
Something's gone wrong here, you know. Maybe the whole plan was a little bit too straightforward. f5. That's just shocking. Wow. Can't you just... Oh, okay. It's got some logic behind it, because if you take, then you strengthen that pawn chain. But you can still go like... You could take and go king e3 to d4. And I think black's under big pressure. That's probably what he should do. e5 is reasonable. Yeah, I don't like black's. Maybe bishop b7 here.
Yeah.
Bishop b7 without the pawn, but then he can defend the pawn probably somehow. Or maybe even push d6 is another option. Yeah, so here he has to think whether he goes knight. I'm not really sure about knight c3 here. Maybe knight c3, black could go f4. So he's taken.
He's taken.
Yeah.
And
f4.
f4 now, okay.
But now d6.
Yeah.
d6 takes, bishop c6, knight d5 maybe. Hitting f4 and b6. So you should just crudely push. Sometimes you just, you know, what they say in the endgame, Natasha, pass pawns.
Pass pawns must be pushed.
d4 is a horrific move. Horrific. Just completely pointless. Completely failing to understand.
Yeah, because these aren't going to be pass pawns.
Nah, it's just wrong. But I mean, having said that, maybe white's still better. Because his plan is just to put the king on d2. But the problem is then how do you ever move the knight? Because d5 is always hanging. So yeah, I don't. Well, knight.
Normally, right, in an endgame with bishop and knight, you're quite happy with the bishop, aren't you? With pawns on both sides.
I'm not sure about this. I mean, a lot depends on the endgame because now knight h3 to f4. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I see what you mean.
And now knight f4, he's got bishop takes f3. So actually, white's in time here to at least hold. Bishop takes f3.
Bishop takes f3.
No, sorry,
the knight stops it, but you can do it this way.
Nonsense. But now king d3, maybe white is just a lot better.
Yeah.
Because you can't easily attack f3. Can you somehow... Ah,
okay. So king takes c3, bishop d1.
That's immediately drawn. So you have to think about maybe something like knight g2, like study like. But I think then you could go c2, king d2, queen. No, sorry, it doesn't work. No, knight g2. There was bishop d5.
Yeah.
Like bishop d5 ideas here. Bishop a4. Yeah, because bishop d5 he had f4. So probably black is okay here now.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit crazy. Anyway.
Yeah, because white's piece is going to be tied up. So I guess we can start pushing our b pawn at some point.
But if you go king d5 now, he's running into knight c3. So he's pushed the pawn. Oh, wow. Really? Maybe this just wins. Because you can't go king e4 because of g5. g5 now. Yeah, it's game over. King b3. Incredible.
14 seconds. Okay. VKT chess resigned.
Not a good start for our guy. Don't play the Grunfeld as a lesson there.
Never play the Grunfeld. Okay. So, now we have some more players, actually. We've got Nigel ST's joined and KBKB34, M. Szynski, as in Garden of. As in Garden of. Now, I know what this means now. It's like as in the Garden of Eden.
Ah, right.
Yeah,
might be
so
a religious
Eden,
person.
Eden. Ocelot, Psychic Effect, and English Chess.
I've got to be careful what I say about people, Natasha, because after what happened to Chris Rock,
What happened to Chris Rock?
Did you not hear about that?
No.
It was during you must be the only person on the planet not to have
Oh,
heard.
sorry.
He was hosting the Oscars.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Sorry, I do.
Yeah, he made a joke about.
He said a terrible joke about the wife of the other one.
Yeah, G.I. Jane 2, right?
Yes.
Which is like a typical joke, really, in a way. But apparently wasn't aware that she had alopecia. And Will
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
which I think absolutely should have been thrown out immediately. It was shocking.
Mm.
But then again, I'm not really the guy to talk about randomly hitting people, and so I can't really talk.
You've been there.
So yeah. Anyway, the less said about that, the better. This looks completely fine for black. I might have even gone C6. 95 here is reasonable. Then he'll probably retreat to bishop. Bishop F1. Bishop B3 is more attacking, actually, yeah. But I don't know why. I always quite kind of like defending my king's side. That's why maybe I prefer Bishop F1. Actually, maybe white is better. I don't like knight F3. I think a Bishop G4 is now Bishop G4 is very strong. Just pinning the knight. I think you should have tried something like Queen D2 instead of knight F3. But now it's about equal. But I think Bishop G4 black was a lot better, actually.
Okay. I think this is one of our junior players. Wine Hoarder's now following. Thank you, Wine Hoarder. Thank you for the follow.
Black is which one is our guy? Our guy is
KBKB34 is black.
These are very strange names. I mean, how do they come up with these names? I mean, who would call yourself KB34?
I'm trying to work out what it means, whether it's to do with kings and bishops or anything like that.
Or is it maybe that KB33 wasn't available?
It could be.
Or why is VS MS HS? What a weird name that is. I mean, can't people have normal names like John Smith?
Well, you see, when they do, right, there was one who had John Smith. It was John Doe, wasn't it? And I was like, oh, this is John Doe playing. And Sabrina was saying to me, well, look, that's obviously a made-up name.
Yeah.
It hadn't even occurred to me.
We used to have a John Smith down our chess club when I was a kid, actually, Charlton Chess Club.
Oh, nice.
He once had a go at me because I came over and I started giving advice and saying, oh, you could have done this. No, he's like, you think you know everything, don't you? You think you know everything. You think you're some sort of master player. Well, John, the laugh's on me, mate.
Yeah.
But I think, we can all have a bad day. Just ask Will Smith. So, I think you can just take on E2. I think you should have taken on E4 last move, actually.
But take the rook now. Okay, take the rook.
You can go rook D2, but I don't really see what the threat is.
Yeah.
King F8. Maybe black's in danger of being worse now. Queen B4. The thing is, Queen B4, rook E7 would run into rook D1. So at some point as white, what I was saying earlier about Zoe, she's very bad at making small improvement moves. And here as white, like Karpov would just sort his king out. He'd go like G3, King G2.
Oh, yeah.
That's like an example of maybe a small improvement move that people don't get. And they don't get the importance of it.
Well, I mean, it's a good skill, isn't it, to be able to do that?
Yeah, because I think a lot of players, where they fall down, amateur players, like Zoe to some extent, I'm sorry to pick on her, but that is my personality. I like picking on people. And no, but I mean, I think with a lot of amateur players is that they have a problem in playing small improvement moves because they sort of feel obliged to do stuff always, So they always feel obliged to make an attacking move or do something active.
And you want to kind of see to the end of the game, don't you? Like this wins or this.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that really stems from how we're taught as when we're younger. We're taught to go for checkmate, which is quite right. But because we're taught to...
White resigned here. That's strange.
That's
anyway, well done, KB34.
That's very odd.
I wouldn't resign there.
He doesn't have a really low rating. He's got quite a decent rating. That's very weird. Maybe he's deliberately throwing games.
Maybe he had to go and do something else.
Yeah,
okay, anyway, nice for us. Okay, let's see GM Atomrod, who has joined.
Oh, not like Keith to play. He played his stuff against me in the Blitz last night. It's Bishop E4 rubbish.
Did he?
But here he's actually got quite a decent position. Yeah, I quite like Black's position because White doesn't really have a lot of play and C4 is weak. So knight d7 to b6 is possible.
Keith's going crazy.
He's played very quickly.
He's pushing all his pawns
His
forward.
opponent isn't a bad player.
Yeah.
So Keith, this is like very looking like a very impressive win potentially. Queen b3 is a good move. But it's a question of now whether White can beat off the attack, which is looking very dangerous. Bishop, yeah, I think this is probably the way to play. Maybe g4 now by White, just to keep some lines closed.
Yeah.
You know, I would try maybe g4 as White because I'd be very afraid that if you, I mean, you know, might be able to get away with Black taking on g3.
Keith's opening the H file. This is going to be dangerous for White.
Playing very, very quickly, yeah. Maybe he's on tilt, or maybe he's drunk.
Yes. Oh, maybe. But he has to go. White has to go. What? Bishop h1 or bishop d?
Queen e3 check now. Yeah, this looks very, very suspicious for White. I think. Because also you could simply go maybe Queen e3 followed by f4. So say Bishop h1 for example, which looks like an ugly move anyway because the bishop's kind of buried. And then Queen e3, any rook to f2, or just go f4.
Ooh.
Oh, his idea is to. Yeah.
So what if we take now on? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this is enough. I think he did this out of desperation.
Yeah.
This is hopeless now.
It's an extra rook.
Queen c1.
And still
very
mating
easy
as well.
win. Very easy win. Yeah.
Very nice. Well done, Keith. So that's an unusual game for Keith because he doesn't normally just
attack
up and go for the attack.
That's normally attack. Yeah.
We've got to see Wilsonia. So here we are. Wilsonia's playing White in this game.
We're playing GM
against the Grandmaster.
I don't know who this guy is. It doesn't ring a bell. Maybe he's from like Africa or something. Can we find out who he is?
Sauerland. Sounds German.
Can we find out who he is?
Germany. Oh. He's from Germany. And Thorsten Michael Haub.
No, I don't really know the name.
GM since 2015.
There's not many German players, I was thinking, who are particularly active actually now. So certainly they haven't got many young players. I know they've got some guy called who's playing in the European Championships called Rasmus Fein. He's quite a decent player.
Oh yeah.
They've got
what about that Vincent Kamer?
Oh, sorry, Vincent Kamer. I forgot about. Yeah, Vincent. He's very promising. Being trained by Peter Lecco. So potentially, maybe in the future, going to be like a top 10 player. Who's your fancy for the candidates? I think it's coming up.
Isn't like Nakamura in it? That would be cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool if Nakamura was able to play Carlsen. I personally don't think it's quite good enough. I think in candidates,
I think it'll be someone even younger.
Yeah, quite possibly like Firouzja. I think Firouzja is sort of like a slightly better version of Nakamura, a very active player. But I don't think he's quite as loose. You know, he's not as he's slightly better in the end game than Nakamura. So, yeah, but Nakamura's got a chance. You know, you can say he's completely got no. I mean, Ding might be qualified because Ding, I think, is.
I'd like to see him do well. I think that'd be fun.
I'd love to see Nakamura play a match against Carlsen. I think that'd be. Yeah. I mean, you know, we've had some very dour matches.
Yeah, because Nakamura's got such a big personality. It would just be a.
Yeah, we've had some very dour matches. I mean, the last match was reasonably interesting, but it was very one-sided.
Yeah.
But we've had some dour matches with very defensive players and similar styles to Magnus. And then against someone like Nakamura, it'd be a lot more of an open match, you know. So it could be the first World Championship chess streamer. Yeah. Knight e4 is a move here, or knight e3. I mean, I always go for the check, you know, but I think it didn't really lead anywhere. So rook takes. Yeah, it looks like White's a lot worse.
Thank you for the follow, Hesse 1001. Yeah, we'll be
interested. Like White's a lot worse than it's ending, Natasha.
Yeah. Now, so Wilsonia is pawn down. But he's very practiced in his rook and pawn endings, I'm sure.
Somebody said, we're interested to see how Firouzja does. Has not been very active, but presumably, I think Firouzja is one of these people who works many hours every day on chess, which is a very boring and tiring. And I think it's a lot easier to do that when you're younger. You know, when you get a bit older, the energy levels start to go down, and I find it tough to do the more than say 20 minutes. You know, because you get very bored and then you turn on like Netflix or whatever.
Danny.
Horse racing. It looks like rook check and D2 should now be winning, but he says I mean, black is it's your worst nightmare playing a German player in a technical ending, especially one that seems to be completely winning, which this one does. King C3 and then well, you can go rook D8. Oh, yeah, that's an interesting move because now he's attacking the pawn, right? But now King D1, I guess.
King D1. So what counterattack the rook pawn? But it's going to be.
I think it's going to be too slow. Rook E4.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, so just bring the king up and try and keep the H pawn as far forward as possible.
Well, he had to try. I think he had to try King G2 there or King G3 or something.
Okay. Yeah. Keep defending that.
Yeah,
pawn.
this is game over now. Yeah.
Okay, unlucky Wilsonia.
Wasn't really unlucky. It was just he got outplayed.
Outplayed by a grandmaster.
Yeah.
Now my chess in the lead on a streak, but not playing right this second. Let's see. Szynski, no. Did we see Knight of Spring? Knight of Spring, no. Let's see Ocelot.
Yeah.
Here's Ocelot.
Who's Ocelot again? I forget who Ocelot is.
Ocelot is, don't put me on the spot. Ocelot is one of our regular players, most regular players, and he's also known as Sir Jaguar. But if you want an actual name, that's more tricky. I only know people by their, he's Ocelot, isn't he?
Well, Ocelot is a bird, isn't it? I believe,
Isn't it a cat?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of osprey.
An osprey's a bird. That's right. Yeah, no, he's one of the cats. There's because we have Ocelot and we have Surrey Chess Cat, and
a lot of cat lovers. Are you a cat or a dog? Do you have
any cats for sure? Every time.
Do you have any cats?
We had a cat when I was growing up, and she got to be about I don't know, 16 years old or something like that.
Yeah, we had a cat, and I think it lived for we had two cats, Mortimer and Mavis.
I really like cats. They're so sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have even named them.
But we tried to get another cat as well. That was we called that one Fluff, but then Matilda didn't get on with Fluff at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they didn't. They were fighting.
They got weird. You always see stuff, and they say this cat doesn't like other dogs. It can't have other dogs. Sorry, it can't have other cats in the house. It can't have dogs. And then you say one's like it's an indoors cat, and it doesn't like people. It doesn't like. It's all weird kind of stipulations. Do you know what I mean? Like, whereas dogs, you don't tend to get that so much.
But I'm beginning to like dogs as well, and because I go out walking now each morning, early, and then there's all the dog walkers out, and then the dogs get to know each other, and it's sort of
nice watching them. Yeah. What type of dog would you get if you got a dog?
I would like probably not too big. I think just a small dog. I think.
Knight takes E4 is a move here, by the way. Knight takes just grab the pawn.
Yes.
He could have just grabbed that pawn on E4.
So maybe Ocelot can now come back and defend. He's playing a higher rated player, Skipper. Now I'm thinking of Skippy and a kangaroo, but we've got Ocelot, the cat or the jaguar. But this is a bad. He's worse, isn't he?
He's worse. I think Rook B2 was now winning because he won saying. I think he had to try Bishop C1 or something.
Oh, isn't the Rook on E1 on Pries as well?
Yeah, so you're going to lose exchange. You really don't have any compensation for it. Just take. And then Knight E4 is winning.
Yeah.
Also, your pawns are weak. Like C4 is weak. A2 is weak. So normally you'd think, well, you might be able to get some play, but here there's no play. He didn't really need to bomb with Rook B6. But he's still winning. It doesn't really matter. The weakness isn't going away.
Yeah.
This is all a bit random. Yeah, why not grab the pawn?
But I think Ocelot's right to try and get some play on the king side or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. But it's very hard to do. If you look at White's
Yeah.
pieces, he's only really got the knight, and the queen could potentially get active via f3. If he goes queen d1 to f3, you might be able to get something. If you got 2 moves in a row here, you might start to threaten something.
Yeah.
But it's so slow, right?
No, you're right. It's a
yeah, 94.
You could go bishop. Could you go bishop h6?
Yeah, I would try. Yeah, you got. I think you're right, Natasha. When you're worst, you've got to try to randomize it.
Yeah.
So bishop h6 was a good try, although it's probably still losing.
Yeah.
So now I feel like black is completely in control. Knight c3 is a move, or there's still these ideas of bishop h6. I don't really. Rook b1 is. You could just go. I mean, there's the old adage, isn't it? When you're material up, why not go for exchanges?
Exchange, yeah. Rook b1 looks sensible, doesn't it?
Why not go rook b1 is not completely stupid at all. He's got knight c3, which also is not bad at all. And maybe even knight e2 to knight d4 would just control everything.
Yeah. Mind you can take on d6 now.
Yeah.
So that's, gives us chances, doesn't it?
Yeah, I miss. Yeah, I think actually this is starting to get murky now, and also c5 is weak.
And they've both also got not too much time left, so that's.
I'd still say black is clear favourite.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not so sure now. I missed that move as well. Now knight c2. Yeah, but knight c2 is annoying. Yeah, if you didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe you could try d6 and d7. Yeah,
he's doing it.
Wow.
An excellent fight back by the Ocelot.
I don't think it worked, but rook takes g2, and now knight f3. Now knight f3 was losing to rook a1, mate. Sorry, I'm blundering. Yeah, he's trying everything in his repertoire. It's just not quite working.
6 seconds left.
He's just got to try and
got to play fast.
You need to be up on the clock here, Natasha.
Yeah, you do.
Things are down on the clock. That's it. It's game over.
Oh, unlucky Ocelot.
It's game over, right?
Yeah. Okay, we're just in relegation zone at the moment. We have Atomrod on a streak. We were going to see, I think we didn't see my chess yet. We will when we get a chance. We're going to look at Nigel Towers playing against Radovan, who has berserked. So Nigel's half a minute up on the clock, but he's pawn down.
Right.
And White's in a bit of a sort of dominating position, really.
So you've got Nigelist playing Radovan.
Yeah.
Oh, he's worse, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what White would probably do here is just tediously continue playing c4 or something. c4. So if you go knight e4, attack the pawn, I can go c4 and just defend it. If you take on c4, I can take on e4.
Strong league tonight, Ocelot. Yeah, I know, because we're up to Division 3, and it's noticeably stronger, isn't it? That the opponents.
What's the top team? Like the top teams are all like, is it the top teams are all like Magnus,
like Division 1? We've been up there. We did get there. I think that there's sort of one big difference is the top players are strong, but also they probably don't have. I guess they don't have that. There's not so many of the lower rated players to play against.
Yeah, right.
Which makes it trickier.
It's more stronger
as well for us, when we turn up.
Yeah. Do you think there's a general rule: the stronger the player, the more unpleasant the person? Would you say? Or do you think at lower level people are nicer?
I shouldn't.
I'm just thinking about myself here, my own unpleasantness.
I think you have to have a certain amount of unpleasantness to get to be really strong. You must do. I don't mean that in a bad way.
But I do think you got to be arrogant to be a good player. To some extent, you got to. Arrogance is probably the wrong word, but you've got to have a lot of self-belief.
Self-belief, you do, for sure.
I was saying this yesterday on my stream when I was playing the tournament, maybe one of my strengths or possibly one of my weaknesses, and why I probably do better against stronger players than myself overall, is that I treat a lot of players with
Knight of Spring. Yeah.
You know, I feel like pretty much everybody I play is a weak player. And I think
Yeah.
you've got to think that because you've got to expect to beat them.
Yeah. I should think that. I never do that. I don't, and I should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Psychic
know, I
effect.
think everybody else is weak, you know, even if they're maybe even if I play Magnus, I think, well, to be honest, we're all weak if you compare us to, say, supercomputers and the perfection of chess, you know, or, you know, how to play chess perfectly. If you talk about
Ocelot says he must be very nice.
well, that's it. Yeah, I mean, I think actually that is possibly, yeah. I mean, you could argue that people who are too nice aren't very good players, right? Because they're
There's
not
lots of dimensions, isn't there, to
they're
how.
not ruthless enough, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think being ruthless must help, but it's only one of the dimensions in it.
No, obviously, of course, yeah. It's one element. It's not everything. If you can't play chess well, it doesn't really matter if you're sitting there going, "I'm really ruthless."
I mean, I think hard work.
All your pieces.
Hard work's important as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. Hard work is the most important element of all by far. I mean,
but then I guess they're related, aren't they? Because if you're really ruthless, you might then put in the hard work.
well, I think that's not really to do with being ruthless. I think that's more to do with, well, possibly to some extent, because I've found that recently that I've started to work a bit harder because I got annoyed with my results, and it
Yeah,
annoyed me that I was losing to players that I knew that I was better at, and you know, that, I suppose you could argue that's a form of ruthlessness, or it's certainly a form of motivation where you're motivating
yeah,
yourself. Because this is what I struggle with is motivation.
yeah,
But yeah, I think you do have to have that killer instinct. You know, when Magnus was playing really well, he was a real chess killer. You know,
yeah.
he'd always find Achilles heel in his opponent's position. It's almost like he was like the world's greatest problem solver. You know, he was a position where white to play and win, he'd always find the solution. You know, and they were like top computer moves and everything. But now he's not. He's lost that to some extent. He's not quite got that ruthless streak that he once had. I don't think.
He's probably achieved everything he's ever wanted to achieve, right?
Oh, without doubt. Well. Having said that, I mean, to get to that
Except for the
level,
rating, he still wants to get the rating, doesn't he?
yeah, but to get to that level, you have to be incredibly well motivated.
Yeah.
And
Right. We
so,
better see
and really
Gigantic
hate
there.
losing. Really hate losing. Sorry, I'm distracting you from.
Yeah.
Because you're clearly taking this.
I'll just flick between games and we can chat. So yeah, this is Gigantobear, who is Audrey.
Oh yeah. I know Audrey, right?
Yeah.
Audrey, what's her surname again?
Koo.
Ah, right. It's not related to Selena Koo or Teresa.
Different spelling.
Keuh. Yeah.
I might not be pronouncing it quite right.
WGMS Pack. That rings a bell as well.
Yeah. Is it Sabina Pat?
Sabina. Where's he from?
Or Germany? Sandra. From, is it Germany? Yeah, Hamburg.
Right. Yeah, Hamburg. Have you ever been to Hamburg? I've been to Hamburg.
Oh, I have. Yes, I have.
I filmed chess-based video there.
Is Ingrid from near there? Maybe.
Ingrid Lauterbach.
Yeah, I think she might be.
It's on the North Sea.
I think it was Hamburg. I went and she cooked white asparagus, which is like a local delicacy.
Oh,
and it was really nice.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. I had a funny story when I went to the red light district there. I probably shouldn't have.
Did you?
It didn't end well for me anyway.
Okay. I'm sort of intrigued, but I'm not going to ask you right now.
Yeah. Another time. Probably too many juniors in the chat.
There's probably many of them. And Wilsonia's in the chat, and Ocelot. And remember that Ocelot is a very nice person.
Somehow,
and Wilsonia is, of course,
misplayed this because he seems to be, even though it's not a pawn down. Yeah, this is looking horrible.
Oh, this doesn't look nice. The F6, Bishop F6 was that?
Bishop H6 is a move here because if you take on E5, I have Queen G3. No, but then Bishop G6. Sorry, but even there it's winning because you have Queen E5 and then Knight E8. Maybe you could survive that. But he could just, Knight F3 I don't really like, but it's still better. Still better for white. I feel like there was more. maybe Queen G3 check was more active, or there must have been a forced win. That now Queen G3.
Oh, Queen G3 with forking.
Yeah. So the patient approach with Knight F3 has paid off. Yeah, he can resign. I wonder why Audrey's called Giganta Bear. You know,
I don't know. She's called that on Twitter as well, I think.
Yeah, is she a fan of bears? You know, like,
probably. Yeah.
Who would win a fight between like a bear and a gorilla?
Oh,
these are sort of questions.
Bears are quite good at fighting, aren't they?
Probably a bear. Depends what type of bear. If it's like a grizzly, you're not going to beat
grizzly bear, yeah.
Or a polar bear. Polar bear.
What about a giganta bear?
Well, giganta bear, you'd have no chance.
Yeah.
Depends how giganta a bear it is.
It's pretty giganta. Oh, right. She's going for a counter attack, but the king's in trouble. It has no squares. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Did we see VKT? We did, I think, but we haven't seen CB3. We saw KB34.
It sounds like some kind of
it's a code.
Morse code here or something, yeah.
Yeah, I think as KB's the junior. I think CB maybe they're school friends.
Ah, right.
Right. Let's find someone that's playing. My chess has not much time left at all.
Doesn't look like a good position either.
Okay, this one's in
development and looks. I don't know. Knight G6 winning piece here maybe. Yeah. This is a problem because you can't continue the defense of F2.
No.
So this is looking pretty well. Maybe you could have tried Queen D7 with a threat of Queen C6. So maybe Queen D7 here, threatening. Okay, it's too late to do that now. Could have gone Queen D7. The idea of Queen takes C6 or Queen takes C7, but it probably wasn't working anyway.
Ooh.
Now he's threatening Rook takes.
Yeah,
he's done it. Yeah, it's resigning time, I feel.
Yeah. Okay, and it's going to be out of time as
well.
Quite
an impressive game by Black. Yeah, quite an impressive game. We didn't catch much of it. Must have gone wrong in the opening.
Yeah. Right, as in Gardenov. No. English chess. Not playing. Let's see, Atomrod again. No.
Yeah.
VKT chess against WFM Rosa Idrisova. And oh gosh,
this looks like a Grunfeld gone wrong. Is this another Grunfeld?
Queen up, isn't it? For white? Oh, the queen for. Wait a minute.
Check if this is a Grunfeld. I feel like this is a Grunfeld gone wrong.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. So.
Yeah.
Yep, Grunfeld. We saw VKT chess playing.
You're supposed to go C. As a very. Could you go back a couple moves, Natasha? I know for a fact it's very, very important for Black. Sorry, just go back a couple more moves, even further, before you castle. Yeah. Very important for Black. If you ever played a Grunfeld, you have to play C5 here. You don't castle. You don't allow White to go Bishop E2, and then he can play Bishop E3 because you have to.
So what's the difference if you go C5 first?
It's quite difficult to explain. But after C5, Bishop E2, I believe that the immediate Knight C6 is quite problematical. So this is actually explained well in Jonathan Rowson's book on the Grunfeld. If C5, Bishop E2, you have Knight C6. And then if White goes D5, you go Bishop takes C3, Bishop D2, Bishop A1, Queen A1, Knight D4. And if Knight D4, C D4, Queen D4, then castle, it's supposed to be okay for Black. Although you can play that as White, it's playable. But yeah, and then if C5, White often goes like Rook B1.
Yeah.
But once you get Bishop E2, and if I castle, you go Bishop E2, and then I go C5. You castle, I go Knight C6, I have Bishop E3, and then I'm very quickly going D5 before you get your Bishop G4 counterplaying. And when you go D5, because I've already castled, Bishop takes C3 isn't going to be coming with check. So it's difficult to understand, but it's very important. So basically, because White got the opening wrong, that was effectively it was a losing move. So casting was a losing move because it never equalised after that.
Yeah.
And now he's got a dead loss endgame.
Yeah.
Where he resigned, right? So very
that's right.
important
Yeah, it's
to
over.
understand these details in the opening. If you're going to play the opening, like for example, the other day I was preparing a friend of mine to play in the 4NCL, Ellie Gamal,
Oh yes,
as
yeah.
he played against Mark Lars' ex-wife. What's her name?
Mary
Armenia. Yeah, Mary
Gregorian.
Yeah, and I prepared her to play the Greenfield.
Yeah.
Ellie.
Okay.
But she didn't know there was a certain detail, like in a line where white goes Queen A4 check early on, and you're supposed to go knight E4, and she didn't know that because I didn't have time to teach her all the details.
No. Yeah.
And that effectively lost her the game. So,
well, it's a shame with chess, isn't it, that not knowing a little bit of the opening can kind of just lose the game.
Well, you could say it's a shame, but it's an interesting part of the game as well.
Yeah.
People say, chess. I mean, I often argue
Knight
as
D6.
well. Chess is dead because of so much theory and everything. Bobby Fischer said that as well. But at the same time, it's a nice part of chess. We've got that theory. And having that knowledge.
Right, Ocelot says, why is it 10 leaders rather than 8 tonight? I think, Ocelot, that once we're up in the 3rd division, they count more of the scores. So it does vary a bit by division is I think the reason for that. And French, yes, Danny's showing his GM status. There you go, Danny, with your openings analysis.
Well, that's part of the reason why. I mean, to be honest with you, like people say, Magnus Carlsen. I mean, you look at chess, it's like a story. You've got to get the opening right. To play at a high level, it all starts from the very first move. And it's really like the opening, phase in chess has been by far the most important phase for the last 100 odd years, If you don't get the opening right, you're not going to get good results. Now, there are a lot of people who just try to get positions out the opening, like Keith, plays a lot. But at the same time, he still knows a lot of theory.
He knows he knows what to do in the openings he plays, doesn't he?
Yeah,
I mean, he
exactly.
Really
and he knows it very well relatively compared to like an amateur player.
Yeah.
And the same with Magnus. Magnus doesn't have that style where he's trying to kill people in the opening necessarily.
Yeah.
Well, if he gets the opportunity to, he will. But he still knows the openings very well. He still has a particular plan to how to play the opening. Just generally, his plan is to get a position where he's comfortable in the middle game.
Yeah.
And then outplay them from there, which is kind of a unique style, actually. But it's very effective, and he's generally not worse. And he's always got a position, even if he is slightly worse, he can.
Yeah, he's got things he can do in the position, hasn't
he? Exactly. It's not like a worse where he's got no chances of winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks terrible for black.
Actually, it's rook and bishop.
Queen G7, mate.
Yeah.
That's what
okay. Right, we're in 8th. We need to get to 7th to avoid relegation here. Okay, let's see KB 34. No, let's see VKT. We'll check in on that again. Who is loads of material up in this one, it looks like.
Well, don't get back it's G3 or H3, and it's basically
this is just winning.
You could reside there.
In fact, I might even switch games because
it's not very interesting, this one.
Because I'm sure that VKT Chess will win this.
Is this a junior playing this VT?
I don't think so, to be honest.
You don't know who it is.
Let me. And I think it's someone called Venkat.
Right.
Who plays in a lot of teams. He plays a lot. Do you know him?
He rings a bell. Yeah, he plays a lot of teams, does he?
Yeah, he's got loads of teams. He's got
full-time lead chess professionals. So when he's not playing,
he's got really a lot of teams.
When he's not playing a tournament, he plays another tournament.
Yeah.
You could literally just spend your whole life on it if you had. So if you're like a millionaire, or you had no reason to go out and make money.
Yeah.
You could just literally spend your whole life, 70 years of your life, playing on lead chess.
Why not?
It's the saddest life ever.
I wouldn't want to, I don't think, but
no.
But it would be nice, like just occasionally to just I was going to say spend your whole weekend playing chess. And then I realized what a great segue that is into advertising the Blitz Marathon this weekend. You could indeed spend your whole weekend playing chess this weekend from 5 p.m. Saturday to 5 p.m. Sunday. There's the ECF Charity Blitz in aid of Ukraine. And there's a stack of commentary on this channel, and hopefully even Danny will be able to make it. But there's many players, many top players, a mixture of players actually, who will commentate and take you through that weekend. But hopefully you'll also play. That will be lovely. People in the chat and follow and enjoy. Should be a nice event.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, I mean, what's your whole view on? Are you a pro Russia or pro Ukraine, or what are you?
We're pro Ukraine or not?
Can't afford to be pro Russia these days. It's like there's like a cartoon going around. It's like Batman slapping Robin, and he said anti-vax. So Robin's saying anti-vaxxers. He said, no, not anti-vaxxers. We hate Russians now. So it's almost like you're saying we're programmed to hate. So you start off, you hate anti-maskers and anti-vax. Now you hate Russians. Yeah, it's all a bit stupid. Knight D7, yeah. Oh. So that's a good example of a small improvement move because you're controlling a square. You're controlling the square on C5, and at the same time you're attacking the rook. I might think about B5 there.
Yeah.
But now B6 would be a good move. But the problem is I don't really like what he's done actually, C5.
Because the D5 pawn's on priest.
Yeah, because it shows an example maybe of an improvement move that didn't improve. So you've actually been better off just... If you go back to
maybe Knight D7 did improve, but then C5...
Can we go back a couple of moves, Natasha? Let's just...
Yeah.
Because I want to talk about improvement moves. Because it basically... Black's just collapsed his position. So instead of C5, this is what I'm talking about. Slow improvement move, King F8, or something like that, just to improve. This is what someone like Magnus would do. Just go King F8 to E7 to D6 and improve the king. Be very patient.
Yeah, it looks nice. Yeah.
If White goes F4, you go F6. You can bring the bishop back to F7.
F6, and this bishop's got squares.
What you don't do is you don't touch that structure unless you're absolutely certain that improves.
Because this is very nice, isn't it? In that it makes that one a bit less active.
It controls the position. If White goes E4, you can always take. If you go B5, it might run into some kind of Knight D4 counterplay. But actually, possibly B5. If Black wanted to improve B5, it does weaken C6. So I'd be slightly concerned that maybe E4 would create some counterplay. But I think just... Yeah, I mean, possibly B5 as a tactical win, like E4, Rook A4 or something like that. But I think King F8 to E7, just, that's what someone like Keith would do as well. Just improve the king. He would just slowly outplay his opponent. But C5 is basically giving the game away.
Yeah. Structure. Now, a good point from Frenchie and Wilsonia in the chat. We are anti-Putin rather than... exactly anti-Russian.
Maybe I'm not anti-Putin. Maybe I like Putin. Maybe I want to get nuked by Putin.
I hope.
I'd love to get nuked by Putin. I would consider it an honor to get nuked by Putin.
Danny, I might not be able to have you on the stream.
Yeah, might offend too many people.
Yeah. In fact, one person said he couldn't go on the stream because he said most of the things he says are funny, but then 1 in 40 of the things he said are really he inadvertently offends everyone, and it's probably better not.
Oh, right. Yeah, this is somehow gone wrong for Black.
This is Eden. This is Max. Yeah.
Come on, Max, you're better than this.
And Max was playing last night as well, wasn't he, in Ginger GM's G-Chess tournament?
Oh, yeah, I didn't really see it. I played his father, Richard. Actually, that was really why I didn't do very well, because I lost the first game. I had a reasonable position, kind of collapsed very quickly. And he beat me with quite a nice attack.
Oh, no. Nazair's saying, if you think Danny's bad, wait till we have Mr. Dodgy on Saturday. Now I'm really worried.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to be supervising him.
I did manage to get my revenge on Richard, but it was a bit late. So it all went a bit wrong, really.
Richard's a strong blitz player, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's quite direct. The way he plays, he's quite direct. Generally, just a good player. Full stop. Him and his brother have been, two of the strongest players in British chess for a very long time. So, now you got a problem because if you go rook, rook takes a3. It might have been possible to sack the exchange last move with queen c3 instead of
this
going rook
is
e8.
yeah.
Now you probably have to give up. I don't know why he didn't get the queen there though. But then he would have just been like a queen for rook down.
Yeah, he maybe wants to get on with the next game, sort of thing.
Yeah, a little bit depressed. He's got a decent rank for his age, Max. He's only about 12, I think, or 13. Maybe even younger than that. I'm not sure what his age is.
Yeah, he's young. Okay, we better see Wilsonia. Wilsonia, yes, here he is. Oh, opponent only has 10 seconds left, so
it doesn't look very good for black. I think Wilsonia is going to win this one.
Wilsonia is going to do it.
This looks hopeless, especially at guillotine. You got 0 chances.
Yeah.
I think one of these guys, Chess Explained, once told me he played a game against Penguin. And, this guy, Andrew Tang, he's like super fast 1 minute.
Really fast, yeah.
And he said he switched off. The guy had a losing position and he was like a minute up on the clock. And he switched off and just assumed he was going to win. And next thing he knew, he lost. The guy literally played 60 moves within 2 seconds or something.
Oh, my goodness.
It's unbelievable. He said he just couldn't believe how anybody could play that quickly.
Hi, Guitar Man.
So it's just like a different level, some of these bullet players. I don't really understand that, how I'm similar in strength to Andrew Tang, classical chess. And yet he's so much more stronger than me I'm probably not that far behind him, even at 5 minutes or something like that. 1 minute.
I don't even know how they make the moves so quick. It must be a technique in making the moves, isn't it? That makes them so fast.
Yeah, I mean, they're very quick with the mouse. They've got like gaming mouses, and he does these reaction tests online and stuff, so they kind of speed up. But it's just generally, but also the play, they're able to play a lot of moves without blundering.
Because someone said to me to play on my phone rather than with a mouse, and that was faster, which it did seem to be. But I don't know whether
if you
play just with a mouse and
you just use your finger. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be.
Thank you for the follow, Piers Andy.
Get a lot of followers tonight. People love the Gorm.
Love the Gorm, absolutely. They do.
They love me. I don't think they're really keen on you, Natasha, but
I think it's you, Gorm. I know, I actually do. Yeah.
Yeah, this looks dodgy for black. Take on f6. E takes f6. If you know the en passant rule, that's a dodgy move.
We all know the en passant rule, Danny. Now we take on b7. Oh, okay.
Well, queen g7, mate.
Queen g7, mate.
Yeah, that was
very spring. Well done. Okay. So, are we out of relegation zone? No, we are firmly in relegation zone. But the teams from 6 to 9 are very close in terms of points, and we have a good chance. So let's see, Gigantabear. Guitar Man comes here for the horse racing tips. We need some horse racing tips, Danny.
I don't have any at the moment, I'm afraid. I'm still collating data. I'm like Ash in Alien, when he goes, I'm still collating. Mother and me are collating. I mean, I think horse racing is quite a hard game to win money on because
greyhound racing's easier, isn't it, than horse racing?
No, that's even worse. I wouldn't bet on greyhound racing. I went to Catford dog track when I was younger with my friend because he was like him and his dad was a sports racing journalist and he was into like the whole. But I think it's closed down now. Greyhound racing in Catford.
Is it? Yeah, I used to go to Blackpool.
Blackpool, yeah. I think you told me. Yeah, you said that before. Yeah, they used to have a greyhound racing track there, right?
Yeah, don't know if they still do, but it was an unregulated track, and I don't know quite exactly what that means in practical terms. But my friend who had a greyhound seemed to know rather too much about which dog was going to win.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that inside information theory, but I do think that that's a load of rubbish anyway, because Well, not a load of rubbish,
It
but
was
I
all
think
about whether they feed the dogs in advance of the race or something.
yeah, but I
Or
think
how much they
the
feed.
average punter, especially in regard to horse racing, they pay too much attention to stuff like Gallup reports and stuff like that, and you can fill your mind with too much information like that. Do you know what I mean? Whereas it's more important what's actually going out on the track. This looks very bad for White actually, because a take on E5 and E4 is long. Probably is holdable, but you're just going to suffer a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got into horse racing betting. The problem was I lost my first bet. Sorry, I won my first bet.
Oh, so it
Always
got
what happens
sucked
with
you in.
gamblers.
Yeah.
The very first bet I placed, it won. I remember I backed it. I just had I remember reading the paper. I must have been a kid at the time, so about 11 or 12.
Yeah.
And I read the paper, and obviously I was too young to stick about it anyway. And I ended up I think I got my dad to place the bet on it. And then the odds, when I read the paper, were like 10 to 1 or something, or 8 to 1. And then it got massively gambled. It was like 2 to 1, so it didn't take a price. So it got returned at like 2 to 1. So I was like I got a bit annoyed because I saw in the paper it was like 8 to 1 or something.
Yeah.
And it's the case with most gamblers. You end up winning your first bet, and then you think, oh, that's. But I suppose one thing that gambling has taught me is that it's quite easy to. It's easier to fail than it is to succeed, I should say. Yeah, knight c6 to b4 is coming.
This looks quite nice for Gigantobear.
Oh, it looks winning, yeah.
And she's up on the clock as well. Yeah, knight c6. A song by The Who called Dogs. I don't know that one. Equivalent of the Derby. Greyhound equivalent of the Derby in 1966.
I've never heard that. I've never heard that. Yeah, I mean, somehow White's holding on this, so he shouldn't be allowed to. But why not?
Right there, yeah. Oh,
There's still king here. How are you winning this? Maybe you could have tried king d6 to c7 to b6, but then the white king would have tried to get in via f4. You could still try that. Could try bringing the king round to b6. But the problem
it does
is,
feel like this should be you should be able to win it, but I can't quite see how you do it.
Also possibly I don't like f5. I think actually
knight a. Oh, no.
I think king d6 knight e5 was winning, Natasha, because then the king couldn't have defended c4 from e3, and the bishop can't go back to e6. But maybe he's going to win now anyway. Oh yeah, he's winning now. Yeah, so he's going to win. Sorry.
Yeah.
Gigantobear.
Yeah. Checkmate. Well done, Gigantobear.
Nice.
Okay. Oh, we're up just out of relegation zone. We're into 6th place. Okay.
Wow, Knight of Spring's doing even better than Keith.
Where are we doing? Whoa. Knight of Spring. Let's see Knight of Spring.
Rookie won here, yeah.
Against Poker Lover 94.
The problem is, I once discovered this against Michael Adams in a blitz game. Once you go bishop h1 there,
yeah,
your king is permanently in a mate in there, so it's not actually as.
It's got no squares.
Yeah, so you feel like you don't go bishop h1 to keep the tension. So it's kind of an understandable idea, right? Now I would go for like e4 as white. I might have got e4 last move. d5 is reasonable. Now e4 and try and take the center. What are you doing? Like, why is he even playing chess if you can't go e4 there? Come on, man. This is pathetic. Okay, now threatening maybe bishop f3 and bishop h6. So maybe just trade. Just trade. Come on, man. Queen d4 is also a move. Queen d4 is a move.
You don't like e4 anymore? Oh, no, because just bishop g5. You're too late to do it.
Yeah, I mean, well, you could take and go e4. Now I would predict f6. f6, bishop takes, knight takes. So you probably take now. And then knight takes h6 will be played. And then I would predict e4, or possibly knight d2 is another option. But in general, it looks slightly better for white. Also, bishop takes knight h4 is interesting. But then g5.
What's white playing for? Like b4, c5 sort of thing?
Yeah, I think white's a lot better here. I don't really think you need moves like knight e4. That's what you don't understand is like you're better anyway. You don't need to go for these tactics. Like you're better by just taking the center.
Mm.
But black's position is like impregnable on the king side for the time being, so you don't need to try to go for these like weird tactics. It's still very difficult.
It takes up time as well, doesn't it? Going for tactics.
Yeah, and I feel like he should really go for the wrong plan. I would try to go for e4 here as white, but still it's okay for white. Yeah, c5 is a decent move, and still got a lot of pressure. In fact, knight e4 is maybe coming, or just rook c1. So still unpleasant for black. You know, what do you do with your king? Maybe you could go king f8. Now rook c1. King d7. Yeah, I don't think white should have exchanged queens that easily, Natasha. I think the ending is fine for black. I think the problem that black had was a king in the middle game.
Mm.
But now it's fairly safe. In the end game, it's a strong piece. What can white do? I don't see an easy plan. Maybe rook c3 now. Just try to. So if you take, I can take out the pawn. But yeah, he's got rook c3. It's a good try. HG. Maybe just bishop takes f3. You know, that's what I would do. You know, rook takes is good. Rook c8 or bishop takes f3. Sometimes just play for simplicity. Just exchange pieces. It's a good way to avoid losing. You know, so you don't blunder. You don't run in some kind of 92 f3 stuff later. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Stop that. You know, maybe knight h2 was strong there. Knight h2 because the bishop h5 g4. Do you know what I mean? That's what I would just take on f3 and just make it simple.
Do you think black's? I mean, black's better, right?
I think black's winning.
Black's winning.
I think black's winning now. Yeah, because now threatening knight takes b2. How do you defend against it? Knight d1, you maybe have played. It's like the most passive move ever. Possibly a6 was a move. I thought you tried knight a7, but it's knight a7, rook a8, and then take on. Yeah, this is looking bad for white. I think it comes down to like going for the right plan. And he did go for the right plan in that middle game. He allowed the queens to come off. He's quite resilient though, Andy Stone. He's quite a good player, right? He's a fighter. He's a lover, not a fighter.
He gets good, like week after week in this tournament. He gets really good results. I have to say.
It's rare that he has a bad tournament, right? He's Mr. Consistent, but I think he's going to lose this one. This is pretty certain. This guy's a decent player.
Yeah.
Knight e5, maybe. Knight e5, yeah. This is good enough.
Yeah, 2 pawns and
Knight h4 check. Yeah,
oh, out of time as well. Okay. Oh, back into ninth. It's just we keep oscillating. Let's see. Ocelot. No.
We'll oscillate with Ocelot.
Ocelot, yeah. KB 34, we're going to see.
Yeah, this looks slightly sticky for black. It's got a weak pawn on d6. Also, there's a potential play. Maybe c3 I would play here. Again, yeah, slight improvement move. We keep talking about slight improvement moves.
E5.
I wouldn't have gone there at all because I feel like that improves. But the good news for white is that he's still a pawn up. So really actually exchanging there isn't a bad idea. I would have just kept the weakness on d6 myself, but this is good enough. You're a lot better. I don't like that move either because now I feel you can take on d4.
Oh, take with the knight, take with the bishop.
Yeah, because there's going to be a rook c4. So he's gone for exchanges. So people say you should always exchange when you mature up, not in that particular position because now black is suddenly getting very active. In fact, black's better now. d4 is weak. And I can go like quickly bring the king to d5 and be better.
Yeah, John M says that sometimes about the trading, and it might be even though you're trading a bishop for a bishop or something like that. If their one's the better placed one, or your one's the better placed one, then it's a bad trade for you. Even so,
yeah. I mean, John knows. I mean, John's a guy. He's quite a well-rounded player, and he knows all the tricks of the trade. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a good example of like a hard worker in chess. I would say, someone who's like worked to achieve the level that he has achieved. And generally to do that, you have to pick up a lot of stuff along the way, you know. Hi,
Waterford Wizard.
But that's a good point. Yeah, I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know something I've never heard of. You know, that you don't exchange your. You know, I suppose it makes sense when you think about it. But again, like you know, small improvement moves. Black could have brought the king to d6 to stop the king to penetrate c5. Earlier.
This is looking difficult for black, isn't it? Now
he shouldn't have allowed the king to come to c5. Natasha is really careless. Yeah. And now it's
actually it's not. I don't know if white's. This seems better than it was a few moves ago for black.
Still unpleasant, but maybe survivable. King f6. He's going after the king side, but now he's switched plans. Now rook a2 is a good move. Rook a2. No, he's it kind of like it feels like headless chicken stuff, but it's good enough. It's rook takes. Yeah, it's good enough. This is winning. This is winning ending.
Oh yeah, because king.
Yeah, impressive at the end. But I think it all related to that. When they started that endgame, he could have actually bullied the white. Black was actually better if he brought the king directly to d5 and stopped the white king from marching in. You got to use your king.
He missed a win with rook e3, says Blue Crew.
Possibly. Yeah. These people.
This is gone now.
They're more perceptive than I am.
Okay, we're in 7th, so we're now out of relegation zone. Let's see chessness. We are black in this position. And what opening was this? I can't even tell. I'm going to just do it from the start. Oh, it's a one of these sort of London system type things.
It's got to be banned from chess now. There's got to be a new law that you can't allow people to play the London system.
What do you like better, London system or Berlin?
I like anything better than the London system. Well, when I played yesterday, London system gets a big airing, but there was also another opening. I think because a lot of people they follow Simon, what Simon plays.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's on a G Chess stream, so there's going to be a lot of Simon fans playing. So they played the London system because that's one of the openings.
There were loads of London systems yesterday. You're right. Yeah.
But it gets very tedious when you have to face d4, bishop f4. It's not very good for white anyway. Knight c3 every bloody game. It's very tedious.
So what would you recommend to defend against all that stuff?
That's a good question. I mean, actually, to be honest, technically, probably the best way to play against that is just to go classical, just go knight f6, e6, d5, bishop d6,
Yeah.
I think, actually, if you go down the main line, it's not that great for white. But often I play like a perk setup, knight f6, g6, d6, which does give white very good chances.
And then so you just solid e6, d5, bishop d6.
Yeah, I mean, if you know what you're doing, you very rarely going to get a bad position, I think.
Interesting.
There's probably other ways to play. You can also go with knight f6, e6. Then if you go with knight c3 setup, you've got bishop e4. Potentially, maybe you got b6 as well. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a great expert on the London system, but I do remember preparing that and thinking that just playing like e6, d5, bishop d6 was just fine for black if you really know what you're doing.
Mr. Dodgy had a lot of good wins yesterday, didn't he?
Oh, was he playing?
Did you play him? Yeah.
I don't think I did. Super Dodgy. He's about 2400 rating.
Yeah.
Don't think I played him. I think I finished above him. That was the main thing. That's all that matters. Getting the bragging rights.
Yeah.
But this is looking slightly unclear, really. I mean,
7 maybe.
blacks are pawn up, but white does have chances with this pawn on h6. Very strong pawn on h6, actually. But actually, knight b2 is a really classy move because you're going for knight c4. Maybe you can get away with king c3 to d4. So now king d3. Yeah, b5 is a good move. But no, rook a6 now. Rook a6. Pawn is hanging. Pawn is hanging, must be taken.
Oh, yeah.
Looks good for white. He's found it.
Taken it.
But he's got no time. So which is our guy?
Our guy's Chestnut, who's black.
I think he's going to win on time, looking at this, given his guillotine. Unless he blunders into a mate. That's quite possible, though, with that pawn configuration. Pawn on h6. But rook b8 maybe would be a good move at some point. So that you've got like b3 ideas and then maybe go for exchanges. You know, he might be very cynical there. Oh, wow. Yeah. No, this isn't good now. He's losing now. He's going to lose.
13 seconds.
White has enough time to finish this game off. Yeah, this is game over, yeah. He's going to lose for sure.
Oh, it was going so well, Chestnut. 3 seconds. Is it not?
I don't know. I think he might lose.
It's not, you know.
Yeah, he's too slow.
Well, Chestnut. Well done.
I can't believe how slow. No, don't say well done for that. That was absolute.
That was well done.
That was absolute trash. He should be ashamed of himself.
Okay, Piscatorux has just joined. Let's see Piscatorux.
I see Simon lost to a certain text-based chess comedian.
I think that's Mr. Dodgy. That's how I'm reading it.
Anyway. I think Mr. Dodgy's about 2000 in classical chess, so he's not a particularly strong player. But yeah, I think he thinks he's like the funniest guy ever. But
Mr. Dodgy's very funny.
I don't think he's that funny, to be honest.
He is.
No, he's not. I mean, he is by chess standards, you know. People. Do you know what I mean? I see some of his stuff. It's relatively tame, you know. Let's be honest. I wondered about becoming a stand-up comedian, to be honest with you, but probably. Actually, Neil McDonald recommended that to me. He said I should become like a chess comedian. I thought I did my Joe Pesci impression. I said, "Are you trying to be funny? You know, do you think I'm funny? Funny how? Funny weird? Funny ha ha?" But yeah, I mean, there aren't really many chess players who are really, really funny. Simon's quite a funny guy, actually, to be fair.
Yeah. I did a stream one time with Jonathan Blackburn. He had me in stitches the whole time as well.
Yeah.
He's a Welsh Blitz champion.
But again, it's like, yeah, I know who Jonathan Blackburn is, but I just don't know him particularly as a person.
Yeah.
His sister plays chess as well.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, it's all the question of perceptive, isn't it? Perception. Some people find Michael McIntyre.
That's true. Actually, feel different.
Some people find Michael McIntyre funny. I mean, how can you find Michael McIntyre?
He's done well.
The worst Christmas present I ever received was a Michael McIntyre DVD. I was absolutely disgusted.
Mm-hmm. Neil McDonald had a limp. Did he? Frenchie's saying Neil McDonald had a limp.
Has a limp? What do you mean? A limp?
I don't know. Limping, maybe. Maybe
he's got a limp or something. He's got a limpet. He's got like a pet limpet.
Oh, it's a joke. Sorry. Golly. Oh, no.
Oh, good fellow joke. Yeah? I don't get it.
I think Piscatorix is just trying to win on time here.
Oh, yeah, because I was making a Goodfellow reference. Yeah. Goodfellas. I knew I'd go from rags to riches. What's the first line from that film? That's a good quiz question.
What is it? I don't know.
Well, the first sort of like written line. I think, they basically had this scene where they got this gangster. in the back of the. It's a bit of a horrific scene when they got the gangster in the back of the car, and they're finishing him off. But I think one of the first lines where he says, "All my life I wanted to be a gangster." Henry Hill was the name of the mobster, and it was written by. It was based on the book. And here's a good quiz question.
We've got it. We've got it from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Something about I've always wanted to be a gangster from being a kid.
Yeah. Well, what was the name of the book that the Goodfellas was based on? That's a good question.
Danny, you're going to be on Mastermind. You need to know these sort of things.
Well, no, I'm probably not going to be on Mastermind. Yeah, exactly. I've always wanted to be a gangster. Directed by Martin Scorsese in 1990. The name of the book was Wise Guys.
Okay.
There was another similar book around about the same time, Casino, where it's he based his film Casino, which was made around about the same sort of time, on another kind of like gangster kind of real life gangster kind of. But yeah, it was a great film, Goodfellas. Yeah.
Named it after pizza, says Wilson. Actually, Wilson is always funny, isn't he?
Yeah. Actually, the best thing about
no, but he's in the chat.
The best thing about well, he's not funny in my opinion, but I don't care if he's in the chat. He's not funny.
He's funny, I tell you.
The last Foreign CL, the only good thing about the whole weekend was the pizza I had on the Sunday night near Tamworth Station.
Okay, what pizza do you have?
Domino's Pizza. You ever get Domino's Pizza? It's amazing.
Oh, Domino's is nice.
Yeah, that was the only good thing about that terrible weekend.
Oh, did you win your games?
No, I drew both, which is disappointing. Just somehow the owners.
Check. No, the fork. This is Keith we're watching. I just noticed we're watching Keith.
Oh, he's losing. Yeah, losing.
Oh,
he lost to 24 and he lost to a decent player. But Keith's rating's going really low now. I think age is starting to catch up. I just throw in these comments because I know he watches the videos.
He'll watch it back, But I think he's playing a different style to me.
I'm a great player still. I've got these results.
Come on, Danny. Come on.
He should have a better rating than that. He's much better than 2480 on Lichess.
Right. Let's see Weiss Monsters, who is berserking.
But again, like with Keith, he probably berserks a lot, which I don't think you should do. That's what I said last night. You shouldn't berserk because it's hurting your rating.
Well, maybe he's not following his rating so closely.
No, it's true. I probably care more about my rating, my online rating, than a lot of people. I'm kind of like quite proud like that. But in a way, it's irrelevant. That's what I was complaining about. Online chess, if related to poker, I made a lot more money out of playing online poker than I've ever done from chess, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've never made any money from playing. Well, I haven't played online poker for many years, but I've never made any real money from playing online chess, really. Other than maybe, I suppose I played that online Hastings. Because the thing is, you play something like Tile Tuesday, which there is prize money in. Not a huge amount of prize money, but there is some prize money. Again, it's not.
But Nakamura wins it.
It's very difficult to win. Yeah, I mean, David Howe won one, but how many of them has he played?
Yeah.
And probably the majority of them he doesn't win any prize money. So it's very difficult even for very strong players to make money out of that. Nakamura, true, it's like a benefit for him, but then he's like a kind of an online blitz player, right?
Yeah.
Online blitz god.
I guess he can play the whole thing without getting nervous once.
Yeah, and he's making very decent money now as a streamer and everything, so he's no real pressure. And he probably gets paid by chess.com as well just to play. So all these things combined, he's doing well. But I think for most chess players, you cannot make money from playing.
Oh, knight A5 check.
But I do think, in a way, the site should actually remunerate professional players more because they make decent money, right? And they're using us professional players to sell the site. People coming on the site to watch professional players play, watching good players play. We don't get paid a penny. Do you think that's fair?
I don't know. Well, just to take the other view, then
Yeah.
they've probably just done sums of what makes the money and what doesn't.
Well, I mean, it's
Because
just
if it's going to make them more money,
a ruthless
then
capitalist
they'd probably realise.
decision. But there's no kind of trade union in chess. There's no like,
Oh,
look, hang on a minute. All these
hang on a minute.
sites, like, I mean, Lichess don't really make any money, right? Because they're like but there's other sites that do. You know, I think
Yeah.
they should really remunerate the professional players a bit more, because you know that's often what's attracting people to these websites. Do you know what I mean? That's why I don't really want to. There's professional players who sit there all day, every day playing Lichess, chess.com. I don't want to be like that, because I feel like it's giving the site money, it's making the site money. Well, what's it?
Whoa.
It's not making
Blue
me.
Grey says Naka makes 100K a month from Twitch.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good going.
That might even be a conservative figure, right? He makes very good money.
Hey, look, Aqua 21 has 4 pawns in a square. I quite like that pawn structure. Very solid.
Yeah, it's crazy money and 100K a month, but that's that's like a world class player, so it's difficult to replicate.
Oh yeah.
You know, the average person, even quite successful people on Twitch, don't make that money. I was chatting to somebody the other day. They had something like 20,000 followers, which you'd think, well, they're making absolute bundles, right? And they're getting like hundreds of people watching, thousands of people watching when they're streaming.
Yeah.
They said they're only making about €500 a month.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of things. The people at the very top are making
it's very
yeah,
top heavy, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. But there's very few of them actually making like really good money.
Yeah. No, I'm sure that's right.
King D5 is possible, maybe. You always use that king the ending. People are scared to use king. F5. F5 is also possible. Just improve the pawns, right?
Well, Sonia's in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, I think he's worse. He's a lot worse. Probably if Black plays his ending very well, he's going to win, but he might not. We've seen some shocking endgame techniques tonight, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that continued. Rook A7 is a good move here.
We've probably put Wilsonia off, to be fair.
Yeah, Rook A7 is a winning move, and now he can just start pushing the pawn.
Yeah.
King C4 is good enough. Rook D7, you can. Well, he's got a plan to bring the king to F5 to G6, which is a good plan. No, I don't understand why he did. I think you have. It's probably too slow to go King F5 G6 and Rook G7. Maybe it was too slow. But I think this is just, even without the H pawn, it's just dead lost, because the king is going. You can just go King C3, ignore the pawn, and go King C3. But this is also good enough here. And now C4.
So Wilsonia got 1 pawn back, but this pawn is trouble because the king's cut off.
I feel like Wilsonia is another kind of like a bit like Knight Spring. He's not a very good player, but he's a fighter.
Go on, get him when he's down.
Yeah, one of my favourite insults is they make the most of their like limited ability. You know? No, I'm only joking, Wilson. I'd say this about everyone when I'm streaming. I'll say, like my opponent, I'll say that guy's a terrible player. He can't play chess. Blah blah blah. I'll say that about everyone, but you know, I'm kind of half joking when I say it. I don't really mean it.
Oh, we're in 9th. It's looking. Look, we're in relegation zone, so let's see if we can pull it back. So, who's on a streak? It's Nigel ST. Not playing right this second. Let's see Gigantobear again. Doing an attack. That is what Gigantobear does.
Yeah, this is a vicious attack, vicious claw-like attack. Queen D7, so it's quite a clever defensive idea, Natasha, to go Queen G4 possibly. I don't like Knight takes F7. I think that's too crude. I don't think it works. I think Black is now ready to go Knight F5 and just defend.
Is she going to try Bishop H6? It doesn't work, does it?
It probably didn't work. Bishop takes C5 is possible. But actually, what's the piece count? So Black's got 2 pieces for a rook.
Yeah.
It seems like B4 is a bit of a wild lunge. It doesn't really do anything, right? I don't really think White had a really good follow-up there.
Is she trying to get her bishop on the long diagonal, maybe?
slightly weird name there as well. Gorarm.
Gorarm. Gigantobear gores the arm of Gorarm.
B6 might be a move. So here I'd probably go for exchange. Yeah, 95 is actually a really good move. Actually, knight c4 coming. Bishop g6. Not sure about bishop d3. I really don't see the point because now, you go rook d1, and now you're going to have to go back anyway. But if you want to go, because your plan is to go knight c4. Now f4. F4 is a good move. Very careless. You didn't play f4. That's really shocking. You should have got at least tried to go f4.
Yeah, f4 just because the bishop's loose.
Yeah, the bishop was loose. Yeah, so black. That's why I said go bishop g6. Put your pieces on protected squares, so that your knight is free to go to d3 or c4.
Look, she's still though doing the same sort of thing on this knight on.
Okay, but only because black played inferior moves, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, after knight c5, you could have actually moved a bishop, for example, even if that gave up the b7 pawn. But now is this winning for white now? Maybe you can take everything off on e5 now.
Take and then
take knight takes f4 anyway. F4 because if rook takes f4, you had rook e5.
Okay, yeah.
But also this is good anyway because you're like a pawn up and d5.
Yeah. As well. Yeah. Okay. So how's Gigantobear's rook and pawn technique? Is what we will find out.
Probably going to be good enough, I think. So I presume that is from Armenia team, right? Gorarm sounds like Armenian.
That's a good point. Monty.
Can we find out?
Armenian power. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, Arm is normally stands for Armenia.
Yeah, absolutely right. And Gigantobear has won. Well done, Gigantobear. Okay, let's see.
We could have a winner of the an Armenian winner of the European Championships because they've got quite a few good Armenian players in that, like Sargissi.
Okay.
So they've got a few.
Nazriz is berserking again. Nazriz always berserks.
Oh, is he one of these like? I mean, that is ballsy though to keep berserking like that. I just find it unnerving when you berserk.
Yeah.
There's that element of kind of regret, that you feel like you would have won that game if you hadn't berserked.
Yeah,
When you get a shorter time and you know you got a winning position, you're like, well, if I had an extra minute and a half here, I would win the game. You also put yourself under pressure to play very well right from the start of the game. You can't afford to make sloppy moves early because if you get into a bad position, you're just going to lose. Whereas, if you get a bad position but you got time left, sometimes you can resist. But this feels like just pretty much dead equal, actually. This should be just completely equal. Knight b6. And now rook c6 is a good move. Rook c6. Because if knight b5, then you have rook fc8. No, now knight b5 is slightly tricky. That's why it's important to go rook c6 so that you had rook fc8, rook takes, pawn takes, knight takes c7, rook c7, trapping the knight. Now he's going to force a favourable position.
So the rook will probably pretty much have to take now on c1.
Rook c6 was the last move was better, or maybe a6.
I thought white would just take on a6. Can't you do that?
You could have taken it. You should have taken a7. You're right, but then I suppose you had rook a8 to rook takes a2.
So you're right.
Still think that was better for white, though. I agree with you. I think I would have taken that. But now you got a problem with the c5 square that white knight's going to land either on e5 or c5 would be a lot better. So these kind of simple positions. This is one of the things that I picked up for reading notes of the Michael Adams game, where he said that sometimes when you've got a simple position, it can actually increase your advantage. It's actually easier to play. It's easier to win. It's actually easier to win a game if you've got like a simple position, like a simple advantage, like controlling the c file. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? I was watching a shogi stream today.
Oh,
and it was saying exactly the same thing. Just don't do anything clever. Just make it simple, and that was how to win. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, and also like Chinese chess. Like I remember reading a review of a book, and they were talking about Chinese chess. They were saying, one of the reasons why Chinese players are good, Chinese chess players are good, is because Chinese chess, traditional Chinese chess, is often very simple positions, and you had to be good at tactics to really, stand out. And they were good at sort of like it was less about board structure and more about piece activity. Yeah,
I
which
have
I
to learn Chinese chess in a few weeks' time, and I've never played it before. So I'm gonna.
that's
And
quite cool.
next time you tell me this, I will be able to tell you all about it.
Yeah, this suddenly is falling apart again. Yeah, sometimes this kind of exchange Slav is more poisonous than you realise because now knight g5 is coming and you're going to lose. Yeah,
well done,
so
Nazris. All right, still in ninth. Okay, let us see. Ocelot. Let us see. Vice monsters. Yes, we can.
It's quite a good opening. This G takes f6 Cara. I think it's quite an underestimated opening.
Do you like it for white or black?
Well, I think I quite like it for black. You just get quite an interesting pawn structure. Get quite a flexible pawn structure. But the only game I remember seeing in this opening was a game Michael Adams versus Nigel Short in a playoff game for the British Championships. I'm trying to remember what year that was. It might have been Canterbury British.
Okay. Oh, long time. Canterbury was a long time ago, right?
Or it might be the Sheffield British. Was Nigel Short the Sheffield British? It was one of these British Championships.
Yeah.
Possibly Canterbury. I can't remember. And Nigel Short and Matthew Sadler will probably tell you because I think he played He played a playoff against Nigel Short and lost. And I think that was something like Torquay or something. I hate to remind him of that if he's watching, but I remember they played this opening. Nigel Short played this opening. G takes f6, and Adams knew how to play against it and managed to win. But again, a lot of people wouldn't know how to play against it. So, which I think is another reason why it's quite a decent opening because it's quite tricky, and if you don't know what you're doing, like here, White's already in trouble because if you go Bishop d2, you run into Knight f2, and if you go Rook e1, you run into Knight takes e3 and Bishop f4. So now he loses exchange to Knight f2.
Yeah.
So this is why it's quite tricky. If c4 turned out to be a huge blunder, should have somehow played something like Knight e2. So that if Knight g4, you had Bishop g1, and then you could go h4 and kick the knight. Now he's just dead lost. So this is my recommendation for people watching. Play the G takes f6 Cara as long as your bishop doesn't get buried on f6. As long as you don't mind your bishop getting buried on g6.
Yeah, that bishop doesn't look that amazing, but then he's the exchange up, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, now you can take and go rook e1. It's actually a little bit tricky because if f6, then I have bishop f4, and I'm going to gain some kind of pullback probably. Rook e1, f6. Bishop f4. Rook c8 and king d2. You're going to win a pullback, and probably it's still good for black. Or even just king d7. And if you take twice, I go rook e8 at the end, I'm going to manage to exchange some pieces off. So it should be good. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hopeless for White. If you really composed. I think technical side of the game as well, Natasha, is one of the things that people struggle. I know I struggle with. It's the hardest part of chess is to convert one positions.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if there's certain techniques. There's certain techniques you would recommend for people to win one positions, or is it just a question of hope for the best?
I find I get in
Bishop a4 now. You see, this is how not to win one position.
Yeah.
One way exchange. Bishop a3 hasn't found it.
I think it's more dangerous to go overly defensive than to. You have to kind of keep on.
You have to keep pursuing the initiative.
Attacking and yeah.
Because people, I find that myself. Like, it's very easy to go to shell.
Yeah, and you think I must be winning this, so I'll just make sure I'll just play the safe move to make sure I win.
Exactly.
And it doesn't always work like that.
Exactly. And I remember watching a video Arthur Yusupov, was obviously a famous chess player and trader, and he said that people said what's the secret to winning one positions? Well, there isn't really a secret anyway, because obviously any one position you have to start from move one, you have to convert it. But there's certain techniques. One is patience. I would say. But he said, you basically focus more than you ever did. Because obviously the tendency when you get one position is to relax.
Frenchie says Adam Short was Sheffield.
Yeah, I thought it was either Sheffield or Canterbury. Yeah, and it was a fight. It was the playoff was between Adams and Short.
Actually, Danny, there was something very interesting I was wanting to tell you on. It's like I was listening to a podcast, and it was actually about piano, but other things, and it was how to sort of maintain like creativity and maintain your form. And there's this, like music and David Bowie and Brian Eno. And Brian Eno used to make his artists kind of, he'd give them a constraint they had to work around. So he had all these cards and they had to kind of obey the thing on the card. And some of them, they're all, these real top performers. And some of them would be happy to do it. David Bowie, he didn't mind. He thought he quite liked this creative thing. But other ones really hated it. I think Phil Collins hated it, for example. And
so what did you had to do? They had to do something on cards or what?
Yeah, just on the card. It would be like just a plain card. And it'd say you have to play in a minor key, or you have to do all these crazy things that they wouldn't normally do in that. But like really crazy stuff that they had to do this thing as well as do their music. And but it led to this really creative, and the theory was that if you've got this constraint, you have to do things in a different way from how you've always learned how to do it. So like he gave the example of traveling in the underground. If you suddenly can't go via a certain station, you have to do it a different way. And people find, once you do the same thing, a number of times, you get kind of so that's the way of doing it, and you kind of switch off a bit and go on autopilot.
Right.
And so he was using this constraint thing and it was always a different constraint. So you didn't go onto autopilot. So that kept your creativity going. And the story he gave was this guy, jazz musician, who had to play on this really bad piano. And the piano was so bad that he almost refused to play the concert. But then in the end, the teenage girl who was running the thing, persuaded him to play. And then he played the most beautiful concert of all time because he had to play so hard on this, concentrate so hard and get so into it. And so it's this kind of tip for creativity. And I guess it could work in chess as well. You put this constraint on yourself for either the game or something, and then see if you have to play like that. You're kind of thinking all the time and thinking on your toes.
Absolutely, yeah. Because I think one of the biggest dangers, that's a very good point that you made. I think one of the biggest dangers, I know myself, when I play at my worst is when I'm thinking superficially and I lose objectivity.
Yeah.
But when I'm kind of, objective and I kind of see the danger, then I tend to play better. When I see more options, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think that's something you could train yourself to do. You could train yourself to see if you work on your calculation and stuff.
And good players, I think they're so fascinated by all the different possibilities in a position. Whereas sometimes you can get into a position, you just think that must be the move, and then that must be the move, and that must be the move, and that one, and then you're not really playing to kind of the full extent.
And also, I think working with computers can be dangerous as well to some extent because I think. Well, I certainly found that working with edges a lot can make you very lazy because you forget how to analyze yourself. Whenever you get stuck on a position, you're right. What does the engine say here? And obviously, most of the time now they're correct.
Yeah.
So the danger is
you might not fully understand why, might you? And
exactly. You don't even understand yourself, even if you're a GM. It's looking good for white, for black actually. So,
this is Keith. Okay. Oh gosh, 11 against 10 seconds. 4 minutes left of the arena, and Keith has. Oh, but I think.
Would be what? Oh, it's mate. Oh my god.
Oh, Keith.
He could have actually played out the move before. I think he missed it. The move. I think Black was in a bit of trouble by that point anyway. Even
it was a tricky position. Oh, but look at that.
D6 maybe was a move. It's tricky to find with no time. So not a good tournament for Keith so far.
Although he's still at the top of the English chess players.
That's interesting what you said.
Top of the overall is Experience Chess 2819. I wonder who that is.
Who is that? Who is that?
Should we watch a bit of Experience Chess? Let's
yeah, who is that?
I'm just going to see if I can work that out.
Where's he from?
Experience Chess, Lithuania.
Oh, right. Experience. It's not Zarakuskis, is it, or something like that? Because he's from Lithuania.
Don't know.
I don't know if he'd be 2800 at Blitz. I don't think.
No. I guess it's someone actually in Lithuania.
Probably a 2600 guy, right?
Yeah.
Did Lithuania have 2600 guys?
I imagine so. Who's from? I can do a bit of research in the background on who's from Lithuania, but let's have a look while we're doing that at Piscatorix. If I do this, you're still seeing the chessboard. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, Adam Short with Sheffield. Yeah, I mentioned this before. Yeah, Adam. Yeah, I do remember that game. I think they drew the first game, and then Adams. Adams is a very smooth player. You know, it's very impressive to watch. The way he sometimes just dismantles people, and he's got a very consistent repertoire with White. You know, very good with E4. So you know.
So Lithuania, the top player is Tomas Laurusas, and then Polias Poltinevesius. So
household names.
2567 is the top guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Yeah, I mean, 2800 on Lichess is pretty decent, but there are quite a few 20. I played a 2900 yesterday on Lichess from the Netherlands. I thought, to be honest with you, I thought it was probably someone like Jordan Van Forest, because there are very few players who are 2900 on Lichess. I managed to win that game, which I was quite happy about.
Well done.
Yeah, but I think Giri plays under his own name anyway, so it's known who Giri is. I don't think it's Giri, but there's not many players. Even someone like Van Welly, I don't think he would even achieve 2600 at Blitz now, or 2900 at Blitz on Lichess. Maybe that's been harsh, but I just feel like he doesn't play enough. Tiviakov as well, you know. They're getting a bit older, so there's not many. I think David Howler's maybe got the highest.
He's really high, isn't he?
Online blitz rating of any English player. Yeah, he's kind of up there. He's one of the top rated on Chess24, and he's one of the top rated on Lichess and stuff. Plays on the hand Smith on Lichess. Maybe Kingsmead as well. He used to play under Kingsmead on ICC. Obviously, Gawain's very good at blitz.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. This looks quite good for Black. Yeah, maybe Knight of Forwards coming. So this is a final round. How are we getting on in the overall competition?
40 seconds left. Let's have a look. Actually, I think we're still in relegation zone. Oops! Oh, no. Now I'm pressing the wrong button.
You're absolutely joking me. Yeah? I'm devastated.
We're eighth. We're eighth. We need to win. Look, with one game, we can go up into seventh and get out of relegation.
How do we know the other team?
23 seconds.
Won't win at the same time.
They might. We could do it, but we've got to do something good in the next 16 seconds.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
There needs to be someone on the street. Let's see Gigantic. No, Gigantic's not playing.
Oh no, we just went up. Somebody
went up. We went up. 4 seconds. We've got to stay up.
Wow.
2 seconds to stay up. Yay. Danny, we did it. We're in seventh, just. Well done, English chess. Fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic non-relegation there, just at the final 5 seconds. Well done to Atomrod, Giganta Bear, VKT Chess Snyder Spring, Piscatorix, Wilsonia Chess News, KB34, My Chess 51, and Nazra's in the top 10 slots, and well done everybody who played.
Mm.
Strong division like League 3A, so it's noticeably stronger than the sort of 4 and 5 we've been in previous weeks. So well done everybody to avoid relegation there. And Danny, thank you very much for commentating. Thanks everybody very much for watching. And I just want to plug once more the weekend. Look out for the ECF Blitz in aid of Ukraine. It's 24-hour Blitz. You can play it as much or as little as you like. Just enter from the ECF website. I should put a link in there. I actually haven't got a link to hand for the chat, but it's easy to find on the ECF website. 24-hour Blitz. We're going to be commentating on this channel. For most of it, perhaps not the early hours of the morning, but for most of it, we'll have commentary. So hope to see you there. Hope you're playing. Well done, Gigantabear. And thank you, everyone, very much for watching.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Thank you, Danny.